Hi YouTube, long time no see. This is the Learn Cantonese Fast channel again. Today I'm going to use some music to show you guys the 6 tones in Cantonese. It's very important because when you just say a word using tone 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 6, you will not be able to catch it. So by means of music, you'll be able to understand it much more. If you go to something like Wikipedia, you'll see some diagram like this. So here we have a diagram plotting relative pitches against time. So when you say a word and you try to elongate, somehow some linguists have collected some data and then they have plotted some diagram like this. So for example, C. I'm telling you, this diagram does not mean anything. And the main reason is because our brain does not work like this. This is a diagram that is plotted according to some guys who do not have training in music. So when you ask the guy to sing or to say out or speak out a Cantonese word which has a constant tone, the person obviously will not be able to do it because the person is not musically trained. So for example, C is supposed to be a flat tone, but then if you ask some people who are not trained in music, it will end up with some pattern like this. So this is nonsense. So don't follow this diagram. C actually is a flat tone. Our brain somehow process it as a flat tone. C, the 6 tones with 6 different words. But then one problem you immediately will recognize is that C, which has the 4th tone according to Yue Ping or Yao or Xin Yi Lao. The tone 4 actually has the lowest pitch, which does not make any sense, because if you have a tone ranking which is not in accordance with the pitch ranking, why do you have a ranking at all? So you shouldn't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In any case, if you follow the natural Cantonese romanization, you don't have this problem, because according to the natural Cantonese romanization, tone 1 has the highest pitch, and then so on and so forth. Right? And here, by simply looking at this diagram, you will realize that tone 1, 3, 5, and 6 they're flat tones, and then tone 2 and 4 they are rising tones. And I'm telling you that there is no falling tone in Cantonese because our brain does not recognize falling tone. Right? Cantonese people does not recognize the so-called falling tone. And the reason why people have the so-called falling tone is because they somehow try to relate Cantonese to Mandarin, which is nonsense, because Cantonese and Mandarin, they're 2 very different languages with 2 very different tonal systems. Even though they're both tonal languages, I'm telling you, Cantonese does not have the falling tone, unlike Mandarin. Right? And English is actually a non-tonal language. So if you are an English-speaking person, you really have a lot of difficulties pronouncing tone 2 and tone 4. For other tones, you have no problems. Right? But then just for tone 2 and tone 4. Why is that? I'll show you using some music later on. But then here, first of all, I'll try to teach you guys how to sing a very simple child song, which is called "I Am a Big Apple." In Chinese, it is 我是一個大蘋果. Right? But in Cantonese, we really do not use 是. Right? We use 係. Right? 是 is Mandarin. Well, but people do this all the time. Right? Sometimes they use 是, even though it is the Mandarin word. But in any case, 我是一個大蘋果. 我 I, 是 is or being. 我 I being 一 一 means 1, 個 is the quantifying unit, 大 is big, 蘋果 果 is a fruit, 蘋果 is an apple in particular. Right, so 我是一個大蘋果. Right, 我 is a rising tone, tone 4. C, tone 5. 我是一我是一個 tone 3. 我是一個大我是一個大拼我是一個大蘋果我是一個大蘋果我是一個大蘋果個孩子都愛我個 is the quantifying unit, but 個 here means each and every. 個孩子 is the kid or child. 都 all inclusive. 都 means all inclusive, so there is no exception. 個個孩子都愛我，愛 is love，我 again is me, right? So there is no distinguishing between the object pronoun and the subject pronoun here. Right? So 愛 actually we don't use 愛 very much in Cantonese. It's pretty Mandarin because in Cantonese we often use 中意 whether it is love or like, we use 中意 okay? 個個孩子都愛我 right? 個 high is the lowest pitch or lowest tone 個孩之子個個孩子都個個孩子都愛個個孩子都愛我個個孩子都愛我喺個個孩子都愛我 So the song goes like this right? So if you know how to play guitar, piano, you can actually play it. Alright, so do mi do. Okay, so do mi do so mi so do re mi. So do mi do so mi so do re mi. So if you want to sing out this song using the words here, you cannot. Right? So if you really try hard, you can actually ask any of your Cantonese native speaking friends to try to sing it. They cannot sing out the correct words. They are singing out some stupid bizarre words. So if you want to sing it, you would go something like this. 我是一個大蘋果，個個孩子都愛我。So do mi do so mi so do re mi。我是一個大蘋果，個個孩子都愛我。You really cannot sing it out the correct words, and the reason is easy to explain. But then, and let me tell you, no one in Hong Kong, no one on the planet Earth is able to explain why we cannot sing out the correct words. And here is the correct explanation. Right? So you can challenge any one of your friends to ask them why they cannot sing out the correct words. They will not be able to answer your question. Right? So 我是一個大蘋果，我 is tone 4, 是 is tone 5, 1. Right? 我是一 right? 1 is tone 1. Right? But then if you look at the musical pattern, the pitch pattern of the note or the note pattern, you have so do, right? So you have a falling tone pattern and then you have a rising tone pattern and then flat. But then if you look at the words, right, so it's a falling. So actually here tone 4 has a relatively high pitch than tone 5, and then tone 5 has a relatively much lower pitch than tone 1, and then 1 has a high pitch than tone 3. So the pitch pattern according to the word should be falling, rising, falling. But then if you look at the musical pattern, it is rising, flat. So no matter how you try it, you cannot sing out the correct word because of the relative pitches of the words provided. And this relative pitch pattern does not match the musical pitch pattern. That's why. So instead, you'll be singing out something like this. 我是一個大蘋果. Okay? 我 has the lowest pitch, so you have a rising and then flat. And then from so do mi do to me, right? Go to die, right? So we have tone 3 rising up to tone 1, and then mi falling to do, and then so we have tone 1 falling to tone 3, and then flat again. Right? So that's why we are not able to sing out correct words. Instead, we'll be singing out these words. 我是一個大蘋果. Right? So the words that you're singing out are actually dictated by the pitch pattern provided by the musical pattern. And 個個孩子都愛我 is the same thing, right? So you have a musical pattern. The words that you're singing out must be in accordance with the pitch pattern or the musical pattern. So you are singing out some different words. So you are singing out the words that you are not intended to sing out. So in order to correct this, we have to change. Well, in other words, in order to sing out the correct words, we have to change the musical pattern. Otherwise, we will not be able to sing out. So I have actually created a musical pattern which will match the tone pattern of the words. Right? 我是一個大蘋果，係咪？我 OK，我是一個大，我是一。我是一個大，我是一個大蘋果，個個孩子都愛我。我是一個大蘋果，個個孩子都愛我。So by means of using this musical pattern, I'll be able to sing out the words correctly. And the reason is obvious. If you look at the musical pattern and the tone pattern of the words, they actually match. Right, so 我是一個大蘋果，do ti mi do ti so mi， okay? 我是 okay, so falling 我是 and then rising sharply 我是一 and then falling from mi to do 一個 and then falling 大 and then falling 平 and then rising 果我是一個大蘋果 and then 個孩子都愛我。Right, so now you'll be able to understand that the relative pitch pattern of the words is actually very important, whether you are singing or you are speaking. Okay? So always, if you listen to other people, always catch the relative pitch pattern of the words connecting together, right? Connecting together in a sentence. Right? So 我是一個大蘋 So memorize the pitches. Right? Memorize the relative pitches of the words, and you'll be able to you'll be able to speak out more words in the long run. And then there's one more trick, which is if you try this, if you first learn Cantonese, if you try this, you will not be able to produce the rising tones. That's the problem. Right? So instead of saying 我是一個大蘋果，我是一個大蘋果 you'll be singing 我是一個大蘋果 right? So instead of singing the rising tone words, you'll be singing out the flat tone words. Right? So the flat tone words that match the pattern will be 我是一個大蘋果我是一個大蘋果我是一個大蘋果 And the reason is because English is actually a non-tonal language. So instead of singing out the rising tone words, tone 4 我 and tone 2 果 you'll be singing out 我 and 果 right? So if you really want to learn the rising tone, you have to pay really special attention to the rising tone words. So try this with a friend and see whether you can actually sing out the tone 4 and tone 2 here, because most likely you'll be singing out tone 3 and tone 1 instead of tone 4 and tone 2. And the reason is because English is a non-tonal language. In order to sing out tone 4 instead of tone 3, we have to force our voice so that we can have a rising tone. So what do you mean by rising tone? A rising tone is something like it's between tone 5 and tone 4. So you start with ngo, and then right? So speak it out fast enough so that it will become one word. Instead of saying you have to sing right? So you have to sing out the rising tone really fast, but the way to do it is to force your throat so that it will have a rising tone. Right? So make sure you have a rising tone instead of a flat tone, because the flat tone does not refer to the same word as the rising tone word. So 果 actually means some fighting. 果 is a fruit. Right? So 果and 果, they are two different words. Right? 我是一個大蘋果not 果個孩子個孩子 So you sing out 個孩子 which is a different word. 個孩子都愛我 Right? So instead of saying 個孩子都愛我, this is wrong, and you have to make it right. Right? So in order to make it right, you have to ask a friend whether you have sing out the correct words. In fact, I'm running out of time, so I'll see you next time. If you have time, you can visit my website www.freehongkong.net. Bye.